Hey everybody, welcome to assignment 6-1. Today we'll be mapping 52 Wallaby Way, Sydney. This is an assignment that can get frustrating at times, so I encourage you to just keep swimming if you get confused. Alright, this assignment wants us to digitize the police beats in downtown Pittsburgh. So the first thing they ask us to do is to create a new file, Geodatabase. You can open up ArcGIS and do it in there. Or you can open up this catalog, and all you have to do is find your My Assignments folder in Chapter 6. So if you go to JST1, then it should be under My Assignments and then Chapter 6. And so you should be able to right-click on Chapter 6 right here, go to New, go to File Geodatabase, and you see I already have a bunch in here. I've already done this a few times. So we'll call this, oh I see, okay, we're 6-1. Nope, I already have one called that. 2014. Okay, in this geodatabase, we want to create two new shapefiles, one called beat number 1 and one called beat number 2. The thing is, if you right-click on the geodatabase right here and try to do new, you'll see there is no shapefile option. So what you have to do is you have to click, I'm going to click this push pin so that stops doing that. Alright, so what you have to do is right-click on the chapter right here, then go to New, and Shapefile. Okay, so we're going to call this first one Beat 1. Well, I already have a Beat 1, so I'm going to call it Beat 1 2014. Now, you see the coordinate system. It says Unknown Coordinate System. Well, actually, before we even do that, it needs to be polyline because we're going to create lines. Now, the unknown coordinate system, that's not good, so we're going to go to Edit. Now we need to select the same coordinate system that we're going to use for the rest of the map. So what we're going to do is import the system from the other files we're going to use in the map, which are in GST1 data. The book says it's going to be data/Pittsburgh/zone2, and then we can use streets here. And so now this is the coordinate system that it's going to use. So we can hit OK, and OK. Let it whir around for a minute, and now you see that Beat 1 2014 is right here. Okay, so now what we want to do is we could do the same thing over again and create Beat 2, or we could just right-click, hit Copy, and then paste, and that'll be called Beat 1 2014 Copy. You click once, and then click once again. Then we can just switch it to Beat 2 2014. Alright, now what we want to do is into our, this is our geodatabase. Right now you see there's this geodatabase with nothing in it. So what we want to do is right-click, import, feature class multiple, because we want to put multiple shapefiles into there. This might take a little bit of time. My computer's not very happy with me right now. I have too many programs running. Alright, so now we're going to go open, and we got to go back and find our assignments. So GIST1, My Assignments, Chapter 6. And now we want to do the Beat 1 2014 and Beat 22. So if you hold down Control, click on this, hit Add. They're both in there. Now we can hit OK. And this will take a minute to load. You'll see the blue text down here pop up in a little bit. Hopefully. It's generating right here. Okay, so now we can see in our Geodatabase right here, beat 1 and beat 2, the ones that we just created. This ended up over here. Let's just get rid of this so we're starting with a fresh map. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to add, first let's add the files that they tell us to add. So, data, Pittsburgh, zone 2. We're going to control click on both of these, hit add. Alright, so there we go. So there's downtown Pittsburgh. Well, this is downtown Pittsburgh, and then this is into the Strip District. Alright, so we can see that the colors are a little bit off. They ask us in the assignment to make the streets a lighter color, and we want to make the background a hollow color. So we can make the, if we left double click here with your left clicker, hit hollow, double click here. You can just right click there too. Let's go with medium gray here. There we go. Let's also make this a wider border so we know what we're talking about. Okay, there's zone 2. Now we can get rid of this. Okay. Now what we need to add are the 2 beats. So where did we get that? Beats me, right? Except we do know it doesn't beat us. All we have to do is go back to the same folder that we went to before. My assignments, chapter 6. Let's not go there. Alright, my assignments, chapter 6. Okay, here we go. This is the one we just created. So now you can control click, add both of those. Alright, so now you'll see if we get rid of these don't actually have anything in them. They're just empty. So what we need to do is we need to add things to them. So the first thing that we want to add is we want to add the streets that are in beat 1. And so if you look at the answer key that provided you, you'll see that we have a bunch of streets down in this part of downtown highlighted as beat 1, and that would be like a walking beat for a police officer. So in the book, it has a list of all the street center line, lines for beat number 1, and there are, I believe it's 21 different segments. Okay, there are 21 different segments that we're going to highlight for this. There are 20 different segments we'll highlight for beat 2, but we'll worry about that when we get to it. So how are we going to find these streets? So all we need to do is go to the attribute table, and then the book suggests that we double click on name. Well, we sort by name. There are multiple ways to do this. If we double click on name, it'll sort by all the streets. Okay? And so now you see we have it in order, all the numbers, all the streets, all the way down to 0 way. Now, your computer, it might not go all the way down to 0 way. A number of people last year, it only went down to ramp, and then it stopped, and people thought that they were missing streets. But what had actually happened was they were on the next page, and so if you go to move to end of table, or then you'll see the next page in your data. Alright, so it says to pick 1 through 199 17th Street. So 17th Street. Alright, and these are the house numbers right here, 1 through 49, 51 through 99, 101 through 149, 151 through 199. So we need all of those. And so if we click on the first one, and you hold down Control, and you can just keep clicking on them. 18th Street, we want 1 through 99, which is 2 segments, and that's going to be both of these. And then 19th Street, we need 1 segment, 1 through 199. And then 20th Street. Alright, I left this out the first time I did this because we got First Avenue here. 20th Street, we need 1 through 199, which is 4 segments. So 1 through 199, so we need these 4 here. Alright, now we need to get Colville. streets apparently in Pittsburgh. Colville, here we go. Alright, don't forget to hold down Control before you click it. And now Liberty, Penn, Smallman, and Springway. Liberty. GHJKL. Liberty. 1700 through 1999. Liberty, which is one segment. So you see this is in reverse order. So 17 through 189. Hold Control and hit that. And then same thing on Penn Avenue, 1700 through 1999. Except that this time it's going to take 3 segments. So hold down Control, hit these. Smallman Street is going to be 4 segments. Hold Control, hit these. Springway is going to be 1 segment. 1700 through 1999 again. So we're just going to hold Control, hit this one, and that's the last one. We should have 21 selected. So if you don't have 21, then you missed something. You're going to have to go back and do it. Do it again. Okay. And so now we can close this, and now we see that this area is selected. Now, you could just go and digitize this now and trace the selected streets. Here's the only problem with that. If you click somewhere else on the map, it's going to unselect them, and then you won't be able to see the streets that you want. So if you're careful, it'll work okay, but this took me a whole bunch of times to get right the first time I did it last year, and a bunch of other people, because they kept unselecting the streets and having to go back and reselect them. And you saw how much of a pain in the butt that just was to select all those streets. That was pretty tedious. So we already have to do it twice in this assignment. We don't need to make ourselves do it 10 times. So what I recommend is, and you'll use this on your final assignment, you'll find this could make it a lot easier. If you right-click on the streets layer and go to selection, now we can create layer from selected features. So click on that. Alright, and so now let's make this something bold, so let's choose this. Alright, so now this is still selected here, but if we accidentally clear the selection here, hit this, now you can see we can still trace this. Okay, so now let's zoom in here. Boom. Well, this was an earlier mistake. You shouldn't have this on your map. I guess I permanently ruined this file here on my computer. In this case, you're going to do what I say instead of what I did. Alright, so let's ignore this ugliness. Drawing. Sorry, not drawing. Editor. Start editing. Alright, so we're going to edit beat 1. That's the layer that we want to change. Okay. Now it's going to give us this menu. So click on beat 1. It'll give us a bunch of tools. So we can click on line. And what you should be able to do is click once to start, and then every time there's a point, click again, and then you can double click and it'll highlight that. Now you'll notice we can't really see what we've drawn. Well, right now we can because it's highlighted, but if we start again and do another section, this is the most annoying menu ever. Alright, and double click. We can't tell that whether we've drawn this on here or this on here or not, because this is such a bold color. So what we're going to have to do is make this even bolder. So let's go with like 2-point and red. Okay. And, well, red's not very visible, is it? And also let's move this layer to the top. Let's make this blue. Okay. So now we can see that we've drawn this. Alright, so you can do this however you want in terms of where you stop and click. Be like a brain teaser to find we can get through with the fewest clicks. And alright, double click there. Now we're just going to do this block, double click, and this block, double click. Okay, and there we go. So those are all of our streets, and that's now a separate layer that's blue. So if we unclick streets, we can unclick this now. And there we go. And this is, yeah, beat 1. Let's just call this beat 1 now. Okay, so editor, save edits, and stop editing. And goes away. Alright, now we need to do the exact same thing, but with beat 2. So I'm going to pause the video. You don't need to watch me select all the streets. You know how to do that. And I'll meet you up again when we finish digitizing beat 2. Okay, I finished selecting all of the streets for beat 2, and I made a mistake, and I want you to see what I did. So first of all, if we want to find them, right click here, zoom to layer, sorry, not zoom to layer, selection, zoom to selected features. This will take us right here. Alright, so now does this beat look right to you? Notice how this street's not selected and this one is. Clearly I made a mistake there. So don't worry, we don't have to do everything all over again. All you have to do is go label features, so label the streets. Alright, so this is 7th Avenue. So clearly I made a mistake when I was doing 7th Avenue. Let's go back into the attribute table and figure out what I did here. 7th. Alright, I did 1 through 199, and I was actually supposed to do 100 through 299. Okay, so hold on Control and just click on this and it'll unselect that. Now, where is 299? Boy, that's interesting. All right, well, I don't know what to tell you. I do not see it anymore. Oh, here it is right here. I'm an idiot. Okay. Alright, so now we have 20 selected. Now we're good to go. Alright, there we go. That looks like a neat square. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, well, we can turn off the labels. But I want to do the same thing we did last time, which is go to Selection, create layer from selected features. Alright, and so it's showing up green this time, that's fine. Alright, so now we can even unselect this. So these are all the streets we need to select, so we're just going to do the exact same thing we did last time. Start editing, beat 2 this time though. Click on beat 2, line, okay. Let's make sure that we can go with red this time. Move this up to the top. Let's make sure we're doing what we think we're doing here. Alright, there we go. So we've done all those. Alright, so there we go. We got all these streets digitized. Editor, save edits. Editor, stop editing. Alright, so now if we go back to full extent, we should be able to see everything we've done. Alright, there we go. So now earlier when I was doing this full extent was getting all messed up and it wasn't showing, went too far out. So sometimes that happens. The correct fix really is to go back and change your coordinate system, but you don't need to worry about that. What you can do is, so let's just say that this was zoomed out too far. What you can do is right click on streets and do zoom to layer, and it'll zoom in. And so now we can see this is beat 2 and this is beat 1. Alright, so now what we need to do is we need to make inset maps of beat 1 and beat 2. So how do we need to arrange these in order to make the inset maps? What do we need to change here if we want to have 3 different windows on the map? If you said we need to insert new data frames, you are correct. Insert data frame. Alright, so in the data frame we're going to want the streets, so we can drag those into both, and then in this one we're going to want beat 1, and in this one we're going to want beat 2. Let's make sure the beat goes above the street though. Okay, and then now, so you see it looks like the edge disappeared. That's just because this one's not activated. So activate this one. Alright. Now if we go to layout view, alright, the first thing we want to do is we want to make this landscape. So right click, go to page and print setup, hit landscape, okay. Hold on. Gotta hit one more landscape. Landscape. Alright, so the big map, bring this down here. Alright, and then that's not what I want to do. Alright, so we're not going to want this quite this big. I want this like this, let's say. Alright, so if we click in this window, we can hit full extent, or you can do the zoom to layer on the streets there. And now we should have 2 other boxes here. Alright, so let's try, for this one, let's go zoom to layer beat 1. There we go, and now we can see that layer. Alright, so, but let's make these boxes a lot smaller. What we ultimately want to have is something that looks more like this. Okay. Actually, I've rethought this a little bit. I'm misremembering what I wanted to do. Alright, we want to make this window the whole page, and then have these as insets. We also want to make this zoomed in on just the area that we want to see, which is really just this area here. Alright, and so now we can play around with this a little bit. We might do like one more zoom in, one more move here. Let's do one more zoom out. Alright. Now, are these windows the same size? Oh, look what I just did. One to 4098. So let's just make this one to 4000. And then, well, so what we really should do is we should set some guidelines here. So this is 0.2 to 3.2. And then 3.4 to, so that one was 3, so 3.4 to 6.4. Alright. Oh, let's get our pointy finger back, or pointer here. Alright. Snap to that, snap to that. Snap to go. So now, if we do zoom to layer here, alright, are they both the same? No, they're not. So let's make this 4300, and then make this 4300. Okay, let's also turn on the street names here. So label features. Huh. Oh, wrong one. Alright, label features here. And streets, label features there. Alright, but we're not going to label the features down here because that would just be way too messy. We won't be able to see anything. What we do want to do down here, though, is we want to put labels here. So you can kind of just create a text box and slap a label on, or if you want to look fancy, you can create a callout box. Now you notice that I don't have a callout box feature here. So what you want to do is go to Customize. And so the Draw menu is already on here. If you go to Commands, wait for this to load for a second. Type in callout. So this is what you want. So hit Add from File. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Wait, what did I do before? Oh. Alright, drag this onto the menu. So let's put it in the drawing menu. So how about just right, I don't know, right here. Okay, close this. Alright, so now if we hit callout, we can draw a callout. Goes like this, and it says beat 1, or beat number 1. Alright, now that's way too tiny for us to see. So if we hit, there we go, that's a little bit better. Let's click on this one more time. Yeah, let's move it a little bit closer there. Let's move this a little bit closer too. Okay, and so now we'll just do this one more time. Let's put it right there. Uh-oh. I created two. Alright. Try this again. Beat number 2. Would I make that other one 20-point font? No. But that looks better. Let's do 20-point font. Alright, now what we want to do is we want to label these. You know what? We didn't leave enough room at the top to label these. Let's create a spacer there. Whoop, wrong one. Undo. Alright, let's make sure this one's selected. Alright, snap to that. And snap to that. Alright, so now what we can do is click on this, insert title. Details, move the title above here, insert title. Alright, and now if we double click on this, beat number 2 details, oops, hit OK, and we need to add 2 more things, I think. One is, let's make sure this is selected. One is we need to add our scale bar. So why don't you take a minute and see if you remember how to add a scale bar. It's been a little while since we did that. Right there. Insert scale bar. And it says a scale bar in feet. So it doesn't really matter which scale bar you pick. Let's just pick this one, let's say. And then properties and feet is what we have selected. So hit OK, hit OK. All right, so now we can drag this under, and we can put these under both of these because both of these are zoomed in to the exact same extent. And then the last thing we're going to do, I think, we'll check the checklist in a second, is insert text. And we want to put source Pittsburgh Police. Whoops. Alright, we're going to move this down here. And then map by Corey Bungie Bauer. And let's make this a little bit larger font. Okay. Oh, I think I left off the main title again. Keep not leaving enough room for titles. Alright, we're going to have to rethink our alignment here. Let's move this a little bit more down this way. And then we can move this down to here. Right, this. Uh-oh, that's not what I wanted. That's right, we can recenter this. Alright, let's make sure we get our arrow. Alright, select this, snap it here. Select this, snap it here, and then where did our address bar go? Or not our address bar, our scale bar. Okay. And we can snap this there, snap that there. Alright, and now we want to do one more title. Where we say Pittsburgh Police Beats. Okay. Let's just go here and make this bold. Let's add zone 2 in here. Okay. Beats 1 and 2 bold colors. So yeah, so these are pretty bold compared to the rest of the map. So check. Beats 1 and 2 thick. Yes, they're much thicker lines than the rest of the map, so check. There are callouts labeled beat number 1 and beat number 2. So right here, beat number 1 and beat number 2. So that's check. Source attribution text box at bottom of map. So right here, source Pittsburgh Police. Zoomed into beats. Oh, so the beats one. This isn't Dr. Dre's headphones here. Beat 1 inset map. Zoomed into beat. So, yep. Zoomed into the beat. We don't have a whole lot of extra stuff, but we can see the whole thing. Street names displayed. Check. Inset box labeled. Beat number 1 details. So, check. Scale in feet below. We have feet. Check. Beat number 2 inset map. Zoomed into beat. Same thing. Street names displayed in inset box. So street names, and there's inset box label. And that's everything. Alright, so I got 100% on this assignment. Hopefully you did too. Until next time, this is Corey Bungie Bauer signing off. I'll see you in Chapter 7.